We have the unsurprising revelation, which I've mentioned a half a dozen times in the last year and a half of the pandemic, that COVID conspiracies are linked to and pushing people towards anti-Semitism. This shouldn't really surprise too many people if you've been watching this show. And we're going to talk about this new report, which is very interesting. Technology Review has a summary of the report by Charlotte G., which says COVID conspiracy theories are driving people to anti-Semitism online. Old and overtly anti-Semitic fantasies are gaining new adherents, depending on your preference. And far-right activists have been working to convert anti-lockdown beliefs into anti-Semitism too. So it's happening both ways. A warning: conspiracy theories about COVID are helping disseminate anti-Semitic beliefs to a wider audience, warns a new report by the anti-racist advocacy group Hope Not Hate. The report says not only has the pandemic revived interest in the New World Order conspiracy theory of a secret Jewish-run elite that claims to that aims to run the world, but far-right activists have also worked to convert people's anti-lockdown and anti-vaccine beliefs into active anti-Semitism. Worst offenders: the authors easily managed to find anti-Semitism on all 9 platforms they investigated, including TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Some of it uses coded language to avoid detection and moderation algorithms. Much of it is overt and discoverable. Unsurprisingly, the authors found a close link between the amount of anti-Semitism on a platform and how lightly or loosely it is moderated. The laxer the moderation, the bigger the problem of anti-Semitism. We've talked before about how shadow government, New World Order conspiracy theories have a lot of different flavors, many of which are anti-Semitic. We've talked about that for a long time. So that's one kind of piece of this. But the report, which is really very much worth looking at, has an entire section. We're going to link to it in the description to the YouTube clip for the story, called Conspiracy Ideologies, COVID-19 and Anti-Semitism. And I would, go through it. It has a bunch of different ways in which all of this stuff links to anti-Semitism. One aspect of this is a lot of New World Order, one world government, shadow government, COVID conspiracies are interlinked with widespread and longstanding anti-Semitic conspiracies where the people doing the shadow government are the Jews. Could be mixed in with the Bilderbergs or the Trilateral Commission, or it's the Rothschilds, or, there's different kind of flavors of it. But New World Order, shadow government, very much linked to anti-Semitism. Number 2, sometimes it's just the individuals they blame are Jewish individuals. Soros is one classic example. The other aspect of this that we've seen is the trivialization of the Holocaust in COVID conspiracies, the wearing of the yellow stars, or of the syringe swastikas that we've seen floating around. That's been happening a lot, and that's mentioned here. So the article, the report rather, talks about anti-Semitism as a conspiracy tradition, just like most of these conspiratorial enclaves have anti-Semitic Jew hatred there. It specifically talks about these various trivializations of the Holocaust. It talks about the role of the internet specifically, and that's a section that's very much worth looking at. It talks about the spread of anti-Semitic conspiracy ideologies during the pandemic in Europe. It talks about 5G. 5G, again, you have to understand how all of these tropes go together, but they have the Jewish control of business thing, and 5G is a business thing. And so you have that blending together quite easily. It goes into specific examples in different countries, and the list of countries is so long, as you can see here, that I'm not going to read it all to you. And the other aspect of this is far-right recruitment from the conspiracy scene. So this is just even folks who fall for one conspiracy theory or another related to COVID and then end up in these Facebook groups or different circles, even if they are not previously anti-Semitic or even link the COVID stuff to anti-Semitism. The anti-Semitic right-wingers, white nationalists, etc., know that these are fertile recruiting grounds for pulling people into the next step. And if they already have started to believe there's some kind of one world conspiracy or involving Soros and bankers and Bill Gates, whatever. I know Bill Gates isn't Jewish, but the point is, if you're already in that universe, to say, well, have you noticed that a lot of the people that are part of this thing happen to be Jewish, and here's a whole bunch of other things that Jews are responsible for. And then also, I think it's worth mentioning the idea of Jews as carrying disease, spreading disease, which is a very, very old idea. So many of us intuitively suspected that there was mixed in, right, anti-Semitism into a lot of this stuff. The signals were all there. Sometimes it's explicit, sometimes it's implicit. And here it's sort of like an all of the above type of scenario. So check out the report from Hope Not Hate. I don't think you'll find anything particularly shocking if you've been following anti-Semitism for any period of time, but the detail with which they break it down and show you how, in Albania, here's how it's manifesting, versus in the Netherlands and Spain, it's taking this other, it has this other flavor. Very well done and very interesting. So check that out. Let me know your thoughts. You can find me on Twitter at @dpacman. We're going to take a quick break, and we've got a tremendous program for you today. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pacman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft, and it's free. There's no catch whatsoever. But if you want, Privacy also offers a $10 a month plan that gives you 1% cash back and lets you create 36 credit cards a month, and a $25 a month plan tailored more for small businesses where you can create 60 card numbers a month and much more. But definitely go ahead and at least get started with the free plan. You'll protect your financial info. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pacman.